because it's about like, you know, this 12-year-old boy whose parents die, and he's like kidnapped by like some like cult and is trying to be sacrificed to a demon, but instead the demon like becomes his butler, right?
Welcome to the podcast, UxieU.
Yeah, UxieU, or you can just call me Uxie.
Uxie, okay. But is that how you say it, UxieU?
Yeah.
Okay. You are a Twitch streamer. You are a Twitch partner VTuber, as we can see. If you're on YouTube, we can see you there. Digital artist, cosplayer, and you have an amazing YouTube channel, and you're also an amazing singer. Is that right?
You. I think I'm good. I think I'm okay.
You have over 80,000 followers across channels online and over 450,000 channel views. Very excited to have you with us, UxieU. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I woke up a couple hours ago, did my Final Fantasy dailies, and now I'm here.
Nice. You have this the typical streamer schedule, is that it? Kind of, you know, wake up kind of like midday and go to bed real late?
No. I don't know. I don't really have like a very fixed sleep schedule. Cause I stream from about 9 p.m. to I try to stream until 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So usually I am not awake during the day, but I was on vacation recently, and that kind of like reset my sleep schedule back to like normal. And so I'm trying to re-gamerify it.
All right. Yeah. So basically going back to the night owl streamer schedule.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So because ending a stream at 5 a.m., that's pretty late or early, depending.
Yeah.
Why do you stream, you know, so late? Typically, does your audience live in certain areas of the world that is better fitting for that schedule?
Maybe. I know I do have like a lot of like New Zealand and Australian viewers. But I stream at night because I don't live alone. I live with my parents and my dog. So at night it is quiet. No dogs are barking. Nobody's gonna bother me. And yeah, it's just like privacy. It's quiet. Makes more sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, I guess. The only thing is, I would be scared to like wake up someone. I don't know. Like because if you're like singing or something, do you have like a soundproof, bunker type of place where you can do this?
No, my parents say like I don't bother them that much. Like there are times like during subathons, that's like the only time that they've complained that like I'm screaming like way too much. But they say it's like, yeah, you don't like, we can't really hear you. There's like a wall, a door, and a hallway in between us, and another door. So it's pretty far away-ish.
Okay. Well, good for them. We salute them if they're listening. So, because I'm sure it happened, like you woke them up a couple of times and it was like, whatever, we'll just go back to sleep. They won't say anything.
Probably.
Yeah. UxieU, can you explain to me, but to all of us, the meaning of it?
Yeah, so I made my username like when I was like 16. Like it was just like an online username that I had. I never expected anybody to read it because at the time, like I wasn't a VTuber, I wasn't like a content creator. So people would just like, call me by like, my legal name. They wouldn't call me by my username. So it was just something meant to like look nice, right? It was just a cute username to look at. And then I became a content creator, and then people started trying to say it, and I was like, oh God. But it came from, I really like Pokemon, especially I think the 4th generation, the Pearl and Diamond generation.
Right.
So Uxie is one of the lake guardians, like one of the legendary like lake spirits. And so I was like, oh, that's a good name, but Uxie would never be available. So I just added extra U on the end because it's like, it looks nice. I didn't expect anybody to ever read it. So most people just call me Uxie.
Right. That makes sense. And so you use that username. It's the same username when you used to be a viewer,
Yeah.
an audience, if you will. What made you go from that to be like, all right, I'm gonna create content now? Like, I want to. I'm watching people. I want to become or do what they do on screen.
Yeah. So I've kind of done content creating, I would say, since I was like 13, 14. I remember when I was like a little kid, I would like, I'm going to be a Minecraft YouTuber. I'm going to be a Minecrafter. And I made like really like terrible videos with like me and my friends on like my laptop playing Minecraft. Um, and so that was kind of the start of it. And then I stopped because I was like 10 when I started doing like the Minecraft stuff. I didn't know what I was doing. And so it's just like I made like two videos. They were terrible. And then I was like, I'm good. And then I did like cosplay content for a long time. As like I'm like really into cosplaying and stuff. I have been for the past like 12 years. So like I did a bunch of cosplay stuff. It didn't really like go anywhere, but it made me a lot of friends, so that was nice. And then I went to college. I went to college and I had known VTubers were like a thing, like Kizuna Ai, Kaguya Luna, like Natsume Moe. I had known of them. I didn't like watch a ton of it. I watched Kizuna Ai sometimes and Kaguya Luna sometimes. But I was like, oh, that sounds expensive and something I cannot do by myself. But then like I started looking around like on Twitch and I was like, oh, wait, people are doing this by themselves. I want to do that. And so I was like, yeah, I just like started looking into it. I watched tutorials. I like looked up like programs and software that like can be used for it. That was in 2019. It was before like the whole like VTuber like boom, and so there wasn't really a lot. Um, and so I just kind of started getting into it because I was like, I want to be an anime girl. I want to be an anime girl on the internet.
Did you drew like because you're a digital artist? Like, did you drew everything that you're using today or on your stream?
No, this model specifically is made by a Japanese artist named Ituka. I was originally gonna make my own model, but then she's like one of my favorite artists like ever. And she had like Live 2D, which is like what this model is. It's like called a Live 2D model. She had Live 2D commissions open, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna drop a lot of money. I love this artist.
Yeah.
So that's how I got this model. Before I became a VTuber, I was a VR chat streamer. And so I like had been into 3D modeling kind of because like I knew how to like mash 3D models together. I didn't know how to make one from scratch. But that's how I got my first 3D model. I just like found some like assets online, shoved them together. And I was like, this is my model. And then I was like, maybe I should like try to make something like by myself that like, that I own, right? And so
Yep.
I started getting into 3D modeling, and that's how I made my 3D models. So yeah, I made one of my 3D models fully from scratch, and another one is like half made by me, half not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. You hired an artist. I know there's a lot of artists. Like VTubing is very popular now, and a lot of the design is based on anime.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like astounding to me because obviously anime has been booming as well. It's always been somewhat popular, but it got more and more mainstream where you basically expect someone in this industry to be watching some type of anime, or at the very least be aware of well, for sure what an anime is, and like I've watched a few classics, if you will. So anime is like part of this this industry more and more, but I'm kind of surprised to see that the VTubing community is, I don't have obviously numbers, but from what I've seen, I would say probably 90% are based off anime looking characters.
Yeah. I agree.
Do you have an opinion on why do you think that is? Why do VTubers basically want to become anime characters?
Because I think, like, I haven't done the research on it. This is just, like, what I believe happened. So VTubing, like, the term VTubing and, like, the original, like, VTuber started in Japan. And they were anime style, like, like Kizuna Ai, like, she is, like, 3D anime girl. And I'm sure there were other, like, I know that there are other VTubers who are also anime themed. I don't know specifically who, but who even became, or not became, came before Keys and I, who just like picked up the anime style. So I think that's kind of why, just because it has its origins in Japan, and like it just kind of became that VTubing was kind of like, you are anime girl and people watch you because you are anime girl, which obviously is not what it is now, but it's kind of like what it was when it started. It's like, oh, you can watch a real anime girl do like anime things on YouTube. That's crazy. And so I think that's how it started, and that's why like 90% are like, anime themed now. But I've seen a lot of VTubers. I agree, like 90% are definitely anime themed, but there are a lot of VTubers as well who like don't use like an anime style, which I think are super cool. I love like stylized like art styles that just like have their own like uniqueness to them. I think it's really cool.
Tell me about your character though, like because you commissioned this Japanese artist to do that character. How much like did you tell her what you wanted, and how much did she propose certain direction for the character?
Yeah, so I designed my character like completely by myself. Like I didn't commission her to like make my character. I was just like, can you draw this and make it move? I told her what I wanted. I gave her some reference of like drawings and 3D models that I had. And then so she drew it. She gave me like a sketch. She was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Good." We changed like the pose a little bit. Like the pose used to be different. Like I used to like have one of my hands up, and I was like, that would be kind of weird if I was like playing a game and I had one of my hands up. I feel like that'd look a little odd. So we ended up putting both my hands down. That was something that happened. And then after that, I didn't really have any like other like critiques or like suggestions for it. I was just like, yep, I think it looks good.
So would you say like because I know there's, and I'm not as familiar as you, of course, with the jargon for VTubing, but
That's okay.
would you say it's the rigging that she did? Is that the right term for it?
Yeah, rigging is what you do to the art to make it move.
Right.
So she did both the art and the rigging.
Okay. So she did the art based off your initial like sketches, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We could say it like this. Okay. Very cool. So then interesting, because we don't have her on the show, so I'm kind of like happy that she's not really, she hasn't designed it, because I couldn't have asked her anything. The ears, these are like, to me, like look like mice, rats, maybe ears. What are these?
Yeah. So I'm a rat themed VTuber.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just little. They look more like mouse ears, but I tell everybody I'm a rat because I'm a rat.
Why?
So it's kind of an interesting story. So I didn't choose to be a rat myself. So when I started streaming as a VTuber in December of 2019. And that was like, it was mid-December, like getting towards New Year's, right? So the year 2020 is the year of the rat. So there were a lot of like rat memes going around. And so people in my chat would be like, "Oh, haha, you're a rat, you're a rat." And I was like, "Oh, this is like, I don't know, they'll probably like die down. The memes will die down like after like, New Year's is over." It didn't. They never stopped calling me a rat. And so I became a rat VTuber. I was like, okay, I guess I'm a rat.
Interesting. And you owned it. That's what's cool about it, That's fun. But you don't have like a personal attachment
Not really.
to rats. Okay, it's just your community basically kind of like, well, I don't want to use religious words necessarily, but like baptized you as a rat, if you will, or mutated you into a rat in a way, kind of.
Yeah, kind of, because I didn't used to like my original model didn't used to be a rat. It just used to be like, like my magenta hair and a sweater. But then they just started calling me a rat, and then they never stopped calling me a rat.
You're quite successful on TikTok and Instagram. If you had to pick one platform, what would it be?
It's a hard question. I would say probably Instagram. Because although I'm successful on both, I get way more views and just like interaction on Instagram than I do on TikTok. But if like I had the same interaction on both, like if they were equal, I would probably still choose Instagram. TikTok is odd. It's a weird place. I I just assume the entirety of TikTok is just run by robots. Like I never assume that there's gonna be any like support or help
Human
if something goes
beings.
wrong.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Like yeah, like I don't know. Like I'm sure TikTok like has like has its like support team and everything, but it's like there's no way. There's no way if something goes wrong that I would be ever be able to like get out of it.
Yeah. But it's interesting. So I'm guessing because of the age of each of those two platforms, you've been on Instagram longer than you've been on TikTok, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that being said, the audience for those two platforms are quite different, and I think
Yeah.
that you know, in terms of the content, what differences do you see between the two platforms right now?
Like in terms of content?
The content that you create, the content that you produce, do you adapt it to each platform?
No. I post the exact same thing on each platform.
And you get more success generally on Instagram.
Yes.
Would you say that's because your content is better suited for Instagram?
I have really no idea. I'm not exactly sure what Instagram is like suited for in general. Cause like what I do on Instagram, I post my Instagram reels and I don't look at Instagram. I just I just
Just
post it and I'm
post.
like, and then I'm good. Um, so I'm not really sure what like Instagram is looking for in content. It just happens to be more successful on Instagram than on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. And how do you measure success on those
Um,
platforms?
Usually like in terms of engagement, like comments, like how many views it gets. Cause to me, like I don't know, just as like a content creator, follower count like does matter to a certain extent. But it's like if you have 100,000 followers and have like one view per video, then it doesn't I don't feel like it really matters. So yeah, definitely measure success in terms of engagement.
Because for me right now, I really like TikTok for discoverability. I think it's a great
Mm-hmm.
platform for this. That being said, it's very different than Instagram in many ways, and I think
Mm-hmm.
the content, I'm not sure the content, one piece of content is can be used on those two platforms and
Yeah.
be, kind of absorbed the same way, if you will,
Yeah.
right? And but your content, um, is somewhat unique, I would say, that you post on social media. How did you find that unique niche for your content on social media?
Um, I don't know. Like I thought when you said unique, I definitely thought you were gonna say generic. Because like in
Okay.
my opinion, I feel like my content as a VTuber is the same as everybody else, like every other VTubers. It's just like, you're a cute anime girl, you lip sync to an audio and then you post it. Um,
That's interesting.
yeah,
Because
like I
right. No, I get what you mean. That being
yeah.
said, if we take a step back, right? Because like VTubing, it's like Twitch, right? Like
Mhm.
we work on like in Twitch, like with Twitch creators about Twitch content, about YouTube. But if you talk about Twitch to your neighbor or your aunt or your
Yeah.
your cousin, they don't necessarily know what it is. Well, especially
Yeah.
if it's your aunt or your
Yeah.
your grandparents. So it's still kind of niche, like Twitch as a whole. It's still kind of niche. It's
Yeah.
not fully mainstream right now. So if you talk about VTubing, well, on Twitch or in general, it's very very niche still. But because you're in it, for you it's your
Yeah.
world, like
That's
you're
true.
inside that bubble, right? So
Yeah.
I think that it depends who's looking at your content.
Yeah.
To me, it's quite unique. So how do you come up with these ideas, these creative ideas for your content?
I just see what's like trending on TikTok. If there's like a sound trending or something, or if there I find a sound that's like, oh, this would be really funny or really like good to do with my VTuber, um, then I just do it. It's not, I don't know. It's I feel like it's so weird to call it creative because it's just like everybody
Yeah.
else is doing it, so
Well,
I will too.
yeah. We say, steal, don't copy, right?
Yeah.
So But you know what's interesting? What you said. If you're on YouTube, maybe you saw me do a face there, but I asked you which platform you preferred, and you said Instagram. But when I asked you, well, how do you get, you know, ideas from, you said TikTok.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting to me. So
Yeah.
So why not Instagram then?
I started on TikTok first. And so I kind of, joined the hive mind of humanity and watching TikToks. And so TikTok is just kind of like the social media platform I use, just like, just watch short videos rather than Instagram Reels. I don't know. I just like TikTok is what I was on first, so it's what I watch. It's what I see and get content from.
But it's not necessarily where you get the most engagement.
Yeah.
From. Gotcha. How do you see the space, like the VTubing space, evolve over time?
It's been kind of crazy because when I first started VTubing, I think there were maybe 15 VTubers on Twitch in total. So I've kind of been there from like the very beginning, and it's kind of like it's been crazy to see like what has happened in the past 2 years. Because when COVID started, a lot of people were like, I'm gonna do live streaming because I can't go outside anymore.
Yep.
And I think that's just kind of like where like VTubing like took off. I don't know exactly like what started. I don't know what group of people were like, I want to do VTubing too. I think it just kind of like exploded just like as like a trend and in popularity. Then since then it's just like it's crazy how like I don't know what the exact word is, but like westernized, I guess, like how it's become. That like America has like VTubing agencies now, like usually like when you think of like a VTubing agency, it's like, oh, you think of Hololive or Nijisanji, and those are like both Japanese. Like if you don't know Japanese, you're not getting in.
Yep.
But now it's like there are like small groups, there are small businesses and agencies and management that just like manage VTubers, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy that happened.
Yeah, I think the increase in popularity for anime in general really helped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see a lot more people joining if you will, the community as VTubers moving forward?
Yeah. I get a lot of, I'd say a lot, like maybe like every once in a while I'll get someone either in my chat or like in my Instagram comments, or like I'll like, just like my messages being like, how do I start streaming? How do I become a VTuber? And yeah, like, I don't know. I think there's still, I think the hype since like the beginning of COVID has definitely died down, but like the popularity has stayed. It's not as like, it's not like, oh my God, I want to be a VTuber. I want to be a VTuber. Not everybody's like that anymore, but the popularity for those who did become VTubers and were successful definitely stayed. And like, yeah, I don't know. It's just really cool, I guess.
It is. What's the number one tip you would give someone wanting to become a VTuber, specifically VTuber?
Is it okay if I have two?
It's okay if you have to, yes.
My first tip is don't put thousands of dollars into like your setup or whatever your debut, whatever you're doing. Don't put thousands of dollars into it right at the start. Like, just don't do it. It's like putting money into it does not guarantee success. And like, I just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
And then kind of related to that is stream first. Like before you become a VTuber, just like figure out how OBS works. Figure out like what the buttons do. Figure out what games work best on your computer. Because I see debuts that happen from VTubers that are like, they're good, but it's like they didn't know that this game wouldn't work while they're streaming, or just like they call it like being scuffed, right? And it's like just like take some time before your like VTuber debut if you're doing one, or just like just start streaming, just like figure some things out first before like you go crazy.
Yeah, because the investment to become a VTuber can be quite substantial.
Yeah.
It can go from a few hundred to, I mean, easily several thousands of dollars just to get the art and the rigging done and the equipment. And as you said, like if something runs well on your computer, well, you might want actually to have two computers, especially if you're doing VTubing, because obviously this is requiring like some processing power as well.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of equipment that you're putting on top of a hobby slash potential career, if you're lucky, really, that if you never even tried to do, looks appealing, but is very difficult and very demanding and very demoralizing. I'm sure even for you sometimes, for anyone really in this business. So I agree, and I double down on your tips. I think they're right on. And what I will say is that, well, what I will ask is, do you think maybe starting to create content, say someone is not necessarily comfortable sharing their face online, potentially, would you suggest they tried streaming with no cam at all, just streaming content and see how this goes first?
Yeah, you could do that. There are things called PNG tubers where it's just like you just use an image instead. A lot of my friends are PNG tubers because like getting a model can be really expensive as well. And there are like softwares out there that use like can like mash a bunch of different like drawings together as well. But you can use, yeah, like you can not have a cam. You can like just have a drawing. You could have a random image, just like anything.
It's a category of streamers, of content creators that is growing more and more, and the last thing you want is to have someone pour out a lot of money into something and ultimately not liking what they're what it ends up being.
Yeah.
That's really sad. And it's not like you're buying something you can resell, because guess what, your your artwork and your rigging and all this stuff is not really refundable, if you will. So you can't really resell, so that'd be a shame. Talking about face reveal, any plan to ever reveal your face online?
Not right now. I don't know. I like being an anime girl. I don't know. Like specifically like face cam streams, I think about it and like I would never want to do face cam streams. I would never want to do that. It was like I like I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable going on like camera just like in my pajamas, no makeup, haven't brushed my hair, haven't showered, just like stuff like that. Like I would have to get ready before every stream, and that sounds awful. I don't know. I mean, like my face is on the internet. Like I said, I made cosplay content before. I don't know. Like if people want to find my face, they could. I would encourage them not to. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. In the future, I don't have any plans to.
Outside of VTubing, you said yourself that you were digital artist. We mentioned it, dancer, contortionist, aerialist. I'm not sure what that is. And 3D modeler, we mentioned it. Like, but the whole like dancer, contortionist, aerialist. What is it? Is it like doing some like circus stuff, like spinning in the air and whatnot?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, very cool. So tell me, where does that come from?
Yeah, so I had been, when I was a kid, like ages like I think from like 9 to 13, 14, I was in competitive musical theater, and I did a lot of like dance, I did a lot of singing. And then when I went into high school, I started focusing more on dance, and I love dancing. I love dance. I do it like, by myself now in my room, because I'm not like part of a studio or anything. But I love doing like dance, just like competitively as well as just with my school. And then, as well, when I started focusing on dance, so the contortionist aerialist thing. So when I was in that competitive company, you were kind of like forced to take dance classes that like even if you didn't want to take them, you're like, well, you have to get better at dance. You want to compete, and so I hated those classes. I hated them. But the only part of the class that I liked was stretching. So it was like when I was a kid, I was like, Mom, can I just take a stretching class? And she was like, haha, okay. And so that's how I got into contortion. Contortion is just flexibility. It's just stretching. And then
extreme flexibility, I think, right?
Yeah. And then from contortion, since it's like, in circus, you had to go to a circus gym to practice. From there, like I saw people doing like aerial, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. And so I got into trapeze, I got into flying trapeze, I got into silks, rope, lyra. And yeah, I haven't been super active in the past couple of years just because like COVID, first of all, and then I was in college, but then I hated college, so I dropped out. And so, yeah, ever since like COVID, I haven't been as active as I would like to be, but I still consider myself like a dancing contortionist. I still like doing it.
I could never do this. I can tell you. I have
Yeah,
vertigo,
it's
so
hard.
that's already a bad start, you know?
Yeah.
You dropped out of college. What did you try studying?
I was in I'm trying to remember what the major was called. I was in like digital.
That's a bad start. If you don't know why
Yeah.
you're there, then
Well, no, I know why I was there. I'm trying to remember what the major was specifically called,
Yeah.
but it was like arts and technology.
Okay.
So I tried. There was like two separate sides of like the major itself. One side was like creative artsy stuff, and the one side was game development. So I tried like the creative like artsy stuff, hated it. And then I tried the game development stuff, liked it, didn't like the school.
Okay.
So I just like, yeah, I'll just do VTubing. Sounds good. I mean, honestly, like, I don't know, if I want to do like art, like game development is like, it's hard, but like it's something you can teach yourself, you know? It's like
Yeah.
you don't need a degree to like if I ever wanted to go into like game development.
That's true. I mean, any development really, and even art, frankly, like
Yeah.
the best thing you can do is do it. You know, it's just try it out. It's just do it, learn on your own, create if you want to do development, like create some small games, show people what you can do, practice, do it as a hobby for a while. Like, you know, software developers nowadays, like they come out of high school, and if they may have started coding at like 7, you know,
Yeah.
and they already have like 10 years experience in like, yeah, it's another world, you know, and then, you know, typically that's what matters most. It's your portfolio basically, you know? So same with an artist. Like if your art is amazing, frankly, who cares to
Yeah.
what school you went, you know? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So I get it. Awesome. We got a segment called Explain This Post.
Okay.
And in this case,
That scares me. I
it's
feel like
gonna
you
be
went through my
It
Twitter.
scares everyone. But every time it's like, oh no, what are you gonna like dig out? And we're nice people, okay? Like we dig out pretty typically, okay? I haven't read these ones yet, but typically pretty wholesome one. So don't worry. But yeah, and in this case, it's gonna be explain this tweet because these two are from Twitter specifically.
I'm so scared.
So the first one is from May 24th, and you said, I had a dream porcelain maid came over to my house, got like 6 cans of chicken noodle soup, and poured them all over my kitchen floor.
Yeah.
What is up? And for me and people listening, who is Porcelain Maid?
Yeah, Porcelain Maid, he's one of my friends. He's also a VTuber. I just had a dream. He just came into my house, took some cans of chicken noodle soup, and just poured them all over my kitchen floor. And I was really mad at him. I was like, "Why would you do that?" Why? I was like, "Oh, like at least clean it up." You didn't clean it up. I had to clean it up.
What we can dream about is just absolutely absurd a lot of the times, you know.
Yeah,
It's,
I tell my chat like every day about like the crazy dreams I have because it's like like I don't know why I have like the most vivid like wild crazy dreams. None of them are normal. And so I
Yeah.
tell my chat about them and they're like, I want whatever you take when you go to bed. Like,
Well, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something. Now I have a kid. He's my alarm clock in the morning, right? He's up at 6, 6:30 if I'm lucky. But I used to wake up way later, and when I used to wake up much later, talking like 10, 11, 12, maybe sometimes, that's when I used to have the most vivid dreams because I would wake up and kind of like slightly wake up, then go back to bed kind of thing.
yeah.
And that would put me in that state of like vivid dream type of state, So you mentioned your schedule,
Yeah.
your sleeping schedule. Maybe that helps, It's not so much
Maybe.
what you eat, but maybe when you go to bed and when but because I remember, I missed that from sleeping in a bit more, or sleeping later, if you will, because I don't have as many vivid dreams as I used to. It's really fun because it makes you like, I don't know, discover the worlds and situations that wouldn't actually never happen. It's pretty nuts. It's yeah. All right, so wasn't too bad, was it?
No.
Okay, well wait, there's another one. There's another one.
Okay.
This one is really bad. No, I'm kidding.
No.
There's some hearts in the tweet. It can't be bad, okay? It's like it's like even more wholesome than the other one. So, all right, April 14th, got my badge. Reg line was not fun. Had a screaming child in the line on my left, and a screaming crazy old lady in the line on my right. I'm ready for tomorrow, though. Are you referring to SakuraCon?
Yeah. That was when I went to SakuraCon in April. Yeah, I went on Thursday to pick up my badge. The line was awful. I was in there for about 2 hours, which is weird because Thursday isn't even like a con day. It's just like a day you can go pick up your badge early.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a child who just kept running and screaming in between all of the lines. Not like, I know having a child is hard, but the mother was just kind of like walking after the child, not very like, stop running in between the lines and screaming at random people. And then on the other side of me, there was just like a crazy old lady who was like, I'm gonna get COVID, stay 6 feet away from me, I'm gonna get COVID. I was like, that's valid, it's a valid concern.
Oh my.
But chill out just like a little bit.
Yeah. How was SakuraCon?
It was super fun. I wore my Uxie cosplay for the first time. I had been working on that like all of April. It was hard, and I learned how to like 3D print. So that was super fun. But yeah, SakuraCon itself was really fun. I met up with a lot of my friends who I hadn't seen in like years because of COVID. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a good time.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
It went well. See?
Yeah.
All good. Next time, though, much worse tweets. Promise you. Okay?
Okay.
Audience questions. All right. We got another segment coming up. We have 2 questions here.
Okay.
And the first one is, if you could trace your success back to one anime which might have changed your outlook on life, which anime impacted you the most?
Ooh,
I'd say for me, this was Naruto. That's what the person says. That's like I'm obviously going to let you answer that, but it's like a tricky question to me. It's a hard one.
I wouldn't say anime at all led to my success, but an anime that has impacted me. Hold on, I'm gonna check my anime list real quick. Hold on, I want to
Sure.
see because like I
You
have
just
like,
have like an anime list like beside you, like this, like.
Yeah.
Where is that like list from?
Yeah, it's just called it's a website called myanimelist.net. You can just list what anime you've seen. I do it to just like keep track because I've watched so many at this point that I'm like, it's hard to remember every single one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would say, okay, so impacted me. I would not describe impacted me in the best way possible, but Black Butler. Black Butler was one of the first anime like I ever watched when I was like 11. But I just say not in the best way possible because like I was just, first of all, kind of like good story. They kind of make it weird. Because it's about like, this 12-year-old boy whose parents die, and he's like kidnapped by like some like cult and is trying to be sacrificed to a demon, but instead the demon like becomes his butler, right? Cool story. Like it, but they make it really weird. They make it really weird between the 12-year-old boy and like the 1,000-year-old demon.
Yeah. And you
like,
being 11,
Yeah, I didn't know. I was just like, whoa,
Right.
hot demon butler. That's cool.
Yeah.
But it was just something I was obsessed with for like so long when I was like a kid because it was like one of the first anime I ever watched. So I was like, this is the best anime ever. I'm telling everybody to watch this. And then I actually like read the manga up until I was say like maybe like 15 or 16. Because there was a plot twist that sucked, and I was like, I am never reading this manga again. But now, also looking back, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of glad I stopped reading that.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of impact me in a better way, um, I would say I don't know. There's so many like anime that I've watched. Maybe Girls Last Tour. I don't know. I don't know because it's like there's so many anime that I like. I don't know. It's hard to choose one.
I think I mean Black Butler impacted you. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way, right?
Yeah.
Give you PTSD. I mean that's the way to impact someone. Cool. Second question. Now it's a kind of a tricky, not tricky one, but like there's 4 parts of it, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. There's like a 4 parts question,
Okay.
if you will. I'm curious about this one. What is the worst cosplay you've done, the best, the cheapest, and the most expensive?
The worst cosplay I've done.
Yeah.
Would you? Are we talking about like cosplays I've made or just cosplays like I've worn to conventions? Or does it matter?
Both. No, both.
Both.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Trying to think. Probably my best cosplay. Hold on. I'm gonna go look at my pictures real quick.
It's cosplay iCosplayList.net. Right?
I'm just looking at my old Instagram. Probably my best cosplay I feel like would be sorry, hold on, I'm just like scrolling. I feel like I know what it
you
is.
can go in your own order, is fine. As long as we
Yeah.
get 4.
I don't know. I would say my best cosplay is probably I cosplayed Hatsune Miku to SakuraCon a few years ago. It was really cool because I used like a bunch of like holographic fabric and I put lights in it. I was like, because like my first cosplay ever was Hatsune Miku. And so I was like, I want to bring that back. I want to bring the Hatsune Miku back. So my mom helped me make it, and it looked really good, and I liked it a lot. And then my worst cosplay, I want to say, okay, it's weird because I really enjoyed wearing this cosplay, but it didn't look good. It was probably I cosplayed Suyu from My Hero Academia in her hero suit. Didn't look good. Loved wearing it. I was just like, because Suyu was my favorite character from My Hero Academia.
Yeah, the character's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it just didn't look great, but I had fun.
And cheapest.
Cheapest? I think it might be Toga from My Hero Academia. Cause her outfit is like super simple. It's like a Japanese school uniform with like a cardigan and just like shoes and socks and like a wig. So I think in total, like I already had some of it, so in total it's probably like $20-$30.
Really? Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the most expensive.
The most expensive, I would say. So when I started out cosplaying as like a kid, I didn't really know how cosplay worked. So I was just like, I'll just get whatever cosplay looks good, right? So I used to get like, was it like tailored cosplay, like just costumes, which can be really expensive because it's cosplay that's specifically made for you. So those cosplays could get like $300 or more. So I'd say I think I cosplayed Madoka when I was a kid, and I had that like tailored to me. And I think that was pretty expensive.
Cool. There we go.
Yeah.
Rapid fire. Okay. We got 15 questions.
Okay.
2 options per question. You answer as fast as you can.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Naruto or Sasuke?
Sasuke.
Apex Legends or Portal 2?
Portal 2.
Cats or bats?
Cats.
Bats or rats?
Rats.
Rats or no rats?
Rats.
Tats or no tats?
Cats.
What year was Rule of Rose released?
Rule of Rose? Oh, 2007.
Oh, that's close. 2006. Nice try.
Ah.
Demon Slayer or My Hero Academia?
My Hero Academia.
Would you start as a hero or become a villain? Or start a villain and become a hero?
Start a villain, become a hero.
Paper or digital art?
Digital.
Would you rather eat poo or drink pee?
Pee. Maggie.
Pineapple on pizza or pizza on pineapple?
Pineapple on pizza.
Call of Duty or Battlefield?
Can I say neither?
Sure. Rats or cats?
Rats.
What is...
What?
I'm gonna skip that one. It's like... We're done. There we go. Well, Uxie, thanks so much for doing this interview.
Yeah, no problem. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really fun to have you doing this episode with us and coming over. We're lucky to have your VTuber on YouTube as well. That's really fun. If you're listening, you can go on YouTube, check out how awesome Uxie looks. And people can find you on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. On Twitch, it's twitch.tv/UxieU. That's UxieU. Yeah, is that it?
That's
yeah,
it.
right. On Twitter, though, there's 3 U's at the end.
Yeah.
UxieUUU. And everywhere else, TikTok, Instagram, it's UxieU. Uxie.
Yeah.
So go check her out. She has amazing content online. When are you live on Twitch?
I typically go live every day besides Tuesdays and Fridays at 9 p.m. PST. Yeah.
There we go. Would you like to add or say or anything to our listeners before going?
My friend wanted me to shout him out. Shout out to Ockles. I think it's Ockles_ on Twitch. He's doing a stream today, I guess. He told me to do this.
Well, the episode's not going live today, so
yeah. Okay. Well, shout out to him. He's doing a stream at some time. Maybe it already happened. Who knows?
All right. And to shout out done. and to our listeners, our audience, guys, if you're listening at this point, make sure to drop a like, tell your friends, leave a positive feedback, 5-star review. Every engagement done is appreciated. Again, go check out Uxie on all these social media platforms. Check her awesome content. Thanks again, Uxie. A real pleasure
no problem.
to have you here with us. And guys, as always, we'll be back next Tuesday with another episode of Streamforge Radio. Take care.